Welcome back to the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Now it's time. It's time to talk about our teams because June 1st doesn't disappoint. It doesn't disappoint. A lot happened yesterday, and before that, there was some Viking stuff, which we'll get to. We'll get to, but I want to let Lance have the floor. Get it off your chest because it sounded like you didn't fully love the trade compensation you guys got back for AJ Brown. So AJ Brown is now a Patriot. You guys get a first and the fifth. So how you feeling? How's your heart?
Disappointed, man. It sucks. I hate the fact that we just lost probably one of the best receivers in the NFL. So yeah, it doesn't feel great. Knew the day was coming. But Brandon Lee Gowden of Bleeding Green Nation has
Mm,
done a great job capturing the story and talking about it. He was honestly one of the first people on the beat to say he's gone. He's not coming back. It's over.
hmm
That's the end of the AJ Brown Eagles experiment. Um, I'm just dumbfounded, man. I don't know. There must be something I'm missing. There must be something I am not aware of or don't understand because I don't know what he's getting in New England that he didn't have in Philadelphia. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm miffed. I really am. I don't know why. Um, just such a weird situation. To win a Super Bowl and to be as successful as the Eagles have been and to leave. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I've heard different things about why he wanted to leave. I will be curious as more reporting comes out to kind of reveal what the ultimate factors were. I did share that interesting piece I read that was written
hmm
by a well-known ex-participant um, that had gathered from some sources as far as what he was hearing. We could dig into that in a minute, but talking about overall trade, as you said, it's a first and a fifth. My frustration is I don't know why he's not worth a 2027 first. That's the part I don't understand, and
Yeah.
I
That's why
don't
I
know.
noticed as well. I was like, man, the Patriots didn't even have to give up their 2027 first. Because again, this is speculation. It could be wrong, but everyone in the world is saying that 2027 draft is going to be elite, just filled with talent. And the Patriots didn't even have to give up their first round pick in that draft. It's like, wow, that's crazy. They give up their better fifth, but that's a fifth.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at things from multiple angles. First, the first angle was is that it was reported for a long time by many people that the Eagles weren't going to even get it first,
Yeah.
which that narrative was bizarre.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But it was out there. I mean, it was definitely out there. And
hmm
I think if it was a different GM, I think the Eagles could have gotten less than a first back. Um, I'm not saying every GM, but I do think that there are GMs that would have been bad at playing poker and would have
hmm
taken a bad trade offer for AJ Brown. I mean, there's a world that happened where the Eagles traded LaShawn McCoy straight up for Kiko Alonso, one of the worst trades in Eagles history. Just absolute garbage. And then we followed that up with, or I should say, it was about the same time. I don't know which one came first. And then we traded for Sam Bradford and traded Nick Foles and a second round pick. Like another what are we doing trade? We traded for a less successful quarterback because of pedigree. And what did that pedigree give us? Absolutely nothing. It was one of the dumbest trades we've back to back trades we made. Cannot believe we made those
hmm
trades in one single season, but we did. Um, just absolutely bonkers that had all happened. So overall, I'm okay with the trade value, especially since even talking to some of our Patriots friends, they thought it was crazy to give up a first round pick. Well, they didn't just give a first round pick; they gave a fifth round pick, and I do think that's important because you try to stick to your values so you don't get bullied in future trades. And I don't think the Eagles got bullied. I think it was just that's what the market was able to get them. They
Hmm.
maximized it, and the fact that they got another pick in there to me was important because you look at the Jalen Waddle trade, and
I was thinking that same thing.
you got it. I think honestly, the Jalen Waddle trade was a big saver for the Eagles. If the Jalen Waddle trade did not happen, I don't know what
Hmm.
they would have gotten for AJ Brown. But the fact that there was a
Hmm.
first, third, and I think a fifth that had thrown into that Waddle trade made it
Yeah, and then there was a fourth back. So I think that
right,
last pick was a wash. So it was basically a first and a third kind of
right.
thing.
And so I think that the first and fifth is okay value. I don't mind it from that standpoint. I just the part I'm just really struggling with is I don't see what AJ Brown sees in this opportunity with the
Hmm.
Patriots. I don't see it. You don't have Devontae Smith. You don't have Dallas Goedert. You don't have Saquon Barkley. Um, this team is going to be very different. And say what you want about the Patriots, and I did put them in my top 10, and I felt comfortable putting them in my top 10. But I don't think they're touching an AFC championship anytime soon. I think they had a
Hmm.
miracle run, and they didn't capitalize and won the Super Bowl like they needed to.
Hmm.
Um, they were exposed in the Super Bowl. And the Chargers video made fun of it for it, but they were the cupcake or what does it say, the cupcake conquest or something like that, and the Halo video, and they get to
Hmm.
the Super Bowl and fall apart. That's exactly what happened. They
Hmm.
definitely had a cupcake schedule. You played C.J. Stroud and the Texans, and the defenses for the Texans is awesome, but that offense was horrible. If
Hmm.
playing him in the divisional round was a dream draw, the fact that the Broncos got the Bills is just super unfortunate luck.
Yeah. And then
Uh,
they had the Broncos without Bo Nix.
yeah, it's just a lot of really lucky scenarios that,
Yep.
yeah, I give them credit for what they did. AJ Brown's probably not playing in another AFC championship. That's my guess. That's nothing against the Patriots. I think they're a fine team. I
Hmm.
think they're competitive, but Super Bowl caliber, I don't know, man. I think the Bills have a better chance of getting back to the AFC Championship than the Patriots do right now.
Hmm.
Um, and that's because they have the better quarterback, one. But two, I would still say, as of right now, the Bills are the better team. Um, they had a weird schedule last year where they lost some inexplicably weird games. That Falcons loss was like
Yeah.
ultimate what on earth is going on moment.
I think they lost
Uh,
the Dolphins as well.
yeah, they just had weird losses that just like should
Hmm.
not have happened. We'll see if things are different now that they swapped out Sean McDermott. I think that that's possible that they run the table again and that it could be better. I still think that when you change a team, you should really heavily think about changing all of it instead of running parts of it back. Um, but I could be wrong. Maybe things will work out differently, and the Bills have a shot. They have a shot to do what they want to do. I just tying it back to the AJ Brown thing. I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling to see what he sees because I think Joe Brady will do just enough to be able for the Bills to be competitive, win the division. I think that that's totally possible. Um, so yeah, just totally confused on what AJ Brown's thinking here. He's just so excited to leave, and I don't get it. I don't understand. It
Yeah.
is really weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's just the coach. Maybe he loves Vrabes. I don't know. I don't know. But I will say that compared to last year, so last year receiving core for the Patriots, they had Stephon Diggs and then a bunch of just guys. Like I listened to a podcast that calls these guys Jags, just a guy. Not necessarily that's a bad thing. They're NFL caliber players, but they're no one that strikes fear in your heart. They're just Jags.
Mm.
Now the Patriots have AJ Brown, Romeo Dobbs, and then those Jags. So that's a fairly decent receiving core. It's not elite, but it's definitely better than last year. And it might even be better than the Bills. We have to really side by side compare, but it's on that same level as the Bills receiving core now. So I will say that's an improvement there. But outside of that, I don't think the Patriots really improved anywhere else. And one of their biggest weaknesses was their O line. And they're I think they addressed maybe some interior. I know they got rid of their center because they had Bradbury and that wasn't going to cut it, and they figured that out quickly. Um, but still, their O line is still their probably biggest weakness on offense. And if you can't protect Drake May, he's going to get sacked a million times like he did last year. So, and like you said, their schedule is elite as far as difficulty this year. I mean, I think like their first 5 games is against playoff teams last year or something like that. It's crazy. So I think they are going to struggle. And I agree with you. I believe the Bills have the best chance of winning the division. And I'm not going to predict this, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots miss the playoffs this year. That's what I'll say. I wouldn't be shocked if they went like 9-8 and missed the playoffs by a game,
Well, I
even
mean, like,
with this
here's
AJ Brown addition.
but like here's an example, right? And we might be different on this, but Patriots Jags, who wins that game?
Where is it?
Jags.
It's at Jags. See, that to me is like a neck and neck. Both teams to me on paper equal. But since it's at Jags, I might give advantage slightly to the Jags. But
Yeah.
that's to me the level that the Patriots are at is on like the Jags level of a good team, but I wouldn't say they're a really good team, if that makes sense.
I just still think though the part that for the Patriots that we have to keep in mind is the Rossini Vrabel issue is not going away.
That is the key. Hmm.
It's not going away. And I already know this because there's been enough reports about it. Diana Rossini is going to tell her story. She's going to still
Hmm.
to tell her perspective. And when she does, it's going to be a huge problem for Vrabel. He will be
Hmm.
compounded with questions, and there might be legal issues. Are he and his wife going to get divorced as a result of this? What happens? How do they split things up? How much time is this going to take? And, if she wants to be a stickler, if his wife wants to make things difficult, she could wait right till before September. And then right when
Hmm.
September comes, I want the divorce. I want it now. And I want to figure out everything now.
Hmm.
And that's really tough, um, to do that and to continue to balance everything else. Um, it is just, it's going to be a tough situation. And I have no idea how they're going to respond to this. But um, I think it's crazy to me how Patriots fans are acting like, I'm not talking about the ones that are chat, I'm just saying in general, acting like this is not going to be a problem. That is just
Hmm.
so far from the truth. It's like trying to say Rashee Rice's criminal history is not going to be a problem this season. That's couldn't be
Yeah.
more false. Because anytime Rashee Rice is not at practice, you're going to constantly be wondering, is he getting himself in trouble? Is he about to get
Hmm.
suspended? Is he about to do something stupid so he's not going to be available for this critical game on Sunday? And it's just going to add stress that you don't need in your life. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen with Rabel. You are adding stress in your life and to your team that was completely 100% unnecessary and not helpful. And not to mention, you are also the Super Bowl losers, which already statistically shows that it's
Hmm.
a very difficult path to follow and try to get back to the Super Bowl. One team,
Yep.
one team has won the Super Bowl and was a loser the previous year. Just one. And that's the New England Patriots. So it's even a taller hill to climb because it's a perennial contender.
Hmm.
And that's like the Tom Brady Patriots, by the way, just so that everyone's
Right.
clear about that. We're not talking about Drake. No offense to Drake May, but that's a different era. So
Hmm.
I don't know, man. And then one thing I did want to talk about too on AJ Brown is there's this sense I get from some people that the Eagles can't be competitive now, that it's over, that that he was the team and Jalen Hurts was not that good of a quarterback, and they're going to fall apart. That to me feels beyond dumb. And this is my ultimate reason is the Eagles didn't just say, let's take a lottery pick sometime in the draft, third, fourth round, and get that person, and that's going to be the person to replace AJ Brown. They didn't do that. They one got Makai Lemon, traded up to get
Hmm.
him to make sure they could get him. So they for sure have a high pedigree player that has the hopeful potential to be a star player in Philadelphia. But they didn't stop there. They also got Marquise Hollywood Brown, who he gives you a floor, right? If these
Hmm.
players that they have on the team don't pan out, he's at least a 600-yard receiver. That's what Brown has proven is that he can do that for you, is get you to 600, 700 yards and be just enough to make your team competent, like he was for the Chiefs. And then they didn't just do that; they traded for Dontavian Wicks from the Packers, who has a history with Sean Mannion and has shown that he has some skills that could be very valuable to a team and some potential to be a star player. And then they added an additional year to his contract. I look at it and I think, I don't know what more they could have done to replace AJ Brown.
Hmm.
I think that if everything falls apart, if none of these receivers work out, I will not look at Howie Roseman and think this is on you. I would say this is a coaching staff failure. There's too much talent in that room to replace the targets and receptions that AJ Brown got across the receiver room. There's enough players there to be able to do it, and I still think it's going to be an addition by subtraction. I'll touch on the piece that I mentioned earlier, but there was a report on social media that AJ Brown might have had a little more of an intimate relationship with a massage therapist,
Mm.
and that there was another player on the team that also had an intimate relationship with that same massage therapist. And when they both discovered that they were both romantically involved with this massage therapist, that it blew up and led to an issue for the locker room. That other player was Hassan Reddick, and Hassan Reddick was shipped out of the team. And the Eagles' narrative when Hassan Reddick was let go was, we like the player, we don't like the headache. That was basically what they went with. And look at Hassan Reddick's career. Has
Hmm.
he had as dominant of a career since being with the Eagles? No. It really fell apart after leaving Philadelphia. Didn't have a great season in Tampa, didn't have a great season in New York. Um, I'm not saying that that's going to happen to AJ Brown, but is AJ Brown about to go back to Tennessee Titan status? I think it's possible. Um, I think the Eagles managed things really, really well with AJ Brown, and I think this might be a grass is always green on the other side situation where he's going to look back and think, "Dang, I had it really good, but my lack of discipline on this really hurt." And Brandon Graham came out with this a couple of years ago on the 2024 run, but he shared that AJ Brown needed to grow up and be a man. That is what he said on WIP, talking about the issue between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. And if it does involve the massage therapist, and to me, that would warrant a grow up and own your problem situation, then I don't fault Jalen Hurts. And I think that people overblow Jalen Hurts' inability to succeed in an offense. I hate how he is held to a standard of he can't make the throws, he can't execute. But we don't talk about AJ Brown's drops in the San Francisco 49ers game, which were huge, or the Chargers game. I just saw clips of it, how he dropped a ball that was a little high, but we're talking about a top five wide receiver. You don't get to tip the ball and give that to the cornerback to become an interception. You don't get to drop a ball as you're running into the end zone and would be a touchdown and then not get flack for it. That doesn't work for me.
Hmm.
You are getting paid just as good as Jalen Hurts is for the position you're playing, and I'd say even better. And um, not taking some accountability that you need to take. That's just the part that I'm frustrated with is that I continue to get this overwhelming sense that AJ Brown's liberated. He's now going to reach this new level. He's with a new quarterback that's even better. I mean, it's one season. Like, can we all calm down for a little bit about the Patriots? Like the one season that was great. It was awesome. It was great. Let's see what this next season brings, like you're saying. And so we'll see. We'll see how much this grass is green. We'll see how green it is by the time we get to game 10 of this
Yep.
year.
Hmm. Do you feel better getting all that off your chest? How do you feel? Can you breathe now?
I did want to just add one more thing, Andrew. To add insult to injury, this past week, Chris Sims came out with the most absurd
Oh.
QB ranking. And
hmm
there's a ton we could talk about, and I know we need to get to Viking stuff, but Jalen Hurts as the 21st best quarterback. Are you kidding? I just there's no way you can get to 20 quarterbacks and then say, "Oh, now Jalen Hurts is the 21st best quarterback." No,
I think
it
we should
just
have a full episode on that whole ranking and just butcher it. And then maybe give our rankings. I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be a fun episode.
well, I mean, at least we would get the correct rankings out there or closer to correct rankings. I mean,
hmm
listen, if you want to say Jalen Hurts is a top 12 quarterback after last year, I will not argue with you. I won't argue with you. I won't say you're wrong. I won't say that it's a bad take. I would still disagree. But to say he's the 21st best quarterback, there were
hmm
not quarterbacks at home from the playoffs last year that were better than Jalen Hurts. Outside of maybe Jared Goff, there's a world where you could justify as a better quarterback. I struggle with that because Jared Goff has never been able to win the big games. I
That's the
just,
point I've been making. That's the point I've been making as a Vikings guy. Like, I don't see the Lions ever win the Super Bowl because I don't think Jared Goff can do that.
I mean,
Really good
I
team,
think that
but I don't think he can do that.
I think that might be true. I just think that, yeah, it's just weird. I don't know.
hmm
I get tired of the super team narrative with the Eagles, but yeah, AJ Brown's not worth a first round pick next year. Um, the narrative constantly shifts, and it's like it's exhausting, man. It's really exhausting, and I'm ready for quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert to get their comeuppings, to get
hmm
their reapings for how horrible. I mean, like Justin Herbert goes and throws what 3 interceptions last year. Why are we talking about him being one of the potential worst quarterbacks or most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL? That's still not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Mike McDaniel's going to come in and fix the offense and make him the perennial, MVP of the league candidate. It's just dumb. The narrative constantly shifts from quarterback to quarterback, man, and that's not even talking about the JJ McCarthy of the rankings, which is another issue I have. So
hmm
I'll stop there. I'm done.
Yes, yes. We should have a full episode on this. Maybe that's our next episode. It's just butchering those rankings and then giving ours. But unfortunately, we're out of time. So we'll have another episode to go over the Vikings hiring of their new GM and then the very good fodder, very good newsworthy conversations that JJ McCarthy and Kyler Murray had when they were interviewed on the sidelines at OTAs. I'm excited to dive into that as well. But for now, we're going to call it. We'll have the episode soon. Thank you guys for joining us in this episode of the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and we will see you next time.
We'll see everybody.